Let's start with. So yesterday where we stopped. Okay, let me ask some questions. Okay. So the first question is, without using an object, can we access the members or not in a class? In a
Uh,
class, without using an object, can we access the members or not?
yes, sir.
Okay.
We can
Yes.
access
Okay.
static methods,
Okay. How we
static
can?
variables.
Using, okay, make that members, okay, static. So using class name we can access it or not when the members are static. Members are static. That's all. Okay, somewhere if you see the code in Java, okay, like this. If you see the code like this, what do you think about this statement? What do you think about this statement here? Come on, here, test dot get info. If you see somewhere this particular statement, what do you think about this statement?
Test is a class and
Here,
get info is
here,
static
T
method.
capital means most of the times 99%, 100% you can say test is a class. With the class, you are accessing the member means, okay, this member is like what? Static member or not? So here, my test is a class. So how we can create the class? How we can create the class test. Inside this test class, okay, get info is what? Inside this test class, get info is what? One static, what is this? Static, what is the type of
Method.
get info? Method or not? So how we can create the static method? Okay, how we can create the normal method? Public void get info, like this you can create a method or not. But by using, okay, this particular statement, I can understand like this particular method is like a static. So how we can, if you want to add some keywords to the method, first access modifier, in between you can write any kind of keyword like static. Okay, by seeing this one you can understand or not? Test is like a class. Inside the class, get info is like one method. Yes or no? Now if you see something like this, okay, now tell me. Now tell me, what about this statement? Again the same, again the same, but here the difference is what? Test is like a class only, get info is like a method only, but my get info, come
Return
on,
type is int.
return type is like it returns me some integer value or not. So how it looks like my class test, my class test like this, and then here you can write like public static, okay, void get info. It is wrong, right? Why? Because if you observe here, this statement returns me what? This particular statement returns me what? This particular statement returns me what?
Int value.
This statement returns me integer value, right? Okay, by seeing this one I can understand like this statement gives me integer value, that the reason you hold with integer variable or not. So here void is nothing but it's not written anything, but here you should return something, right? So how we can return? Like this you can return. Yes or no? Okay, now tell me, how if you leave like this, then that time it gives me, if you leave like this, then the time it gives me an error. Why? Because you not written anything, but the statement telling like what? Returns integer value. So what we have to do? So what you have to do? Come on, what you have to do? You have to return the integer value or not. Okay, how we can return? How we can return one value? By using return keyword. By using return keyword. We already discussed, right? Then you can go with the return. Yes or no? Up here, okay? Now, if you see something like this, the statement is like int amount only. Okay, my obj dot get info. If you see like this, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Here,
OBJ is an
OBJ
object.
is an object of one class or not. Okay, see, dot notation, if you see somewhere, now onwards, the prefix is an object of one class or my prefix may be class or not. Before dot, possibilities are what? Before dot, before dot notation, the possibilities what? Maybe object of one class, yes or no, or a class, right? Yes or no? If this is like a static member, then the time it is like a class. If it is like instance member, what is instance we'll discuss later. If it is like non-static, then the time it is like what? Object or not. Now tell me how we can. OBJ is an object of one class. Inside that class, okay, get info is like one non-static member. That member, okay, non-static member type is what? Method. It returns me what? Integer value or not. Yes or no? So how we can write it? It is an object of one class. So how we can create an object? Like this we can create. Object of which class? Test class. It returns me what? OBJ. It returns me OBJ. My OBJ type is what? It returns me OBJ. My OBJ type is what? What is the type? My
Test.
OBJ type is what?
Test type.
Test type only or
Test
not?
type.
An object of test class, right? So how my class is looks like? My class test. My class test. Okay, inside this one, what do you have to write? Public.
Yes.
Okay, next. One method is required. Static and non-static.
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 Void.
Non-static member. Void, by seeing this statement, is it written something or it is not written anything? It returns some value.
Return
Right?
integer
So,
value.
not void, it is like integer value. Okay, if you leave like this, then the time it gives me an error. Why? Because it's not written anything, but you are expecting the written value. You should have to return. Can I return like this? Is it the valid? You return what? A string value, but
String.
it's expecting what? Integer type mismatching or not. So you should have to return something like this or not. Agreed, everyone? Okay. Okay, then the next one. Okay, it is important. Okay, see here. Okay, if you see like this statement, if you see, you know already. Okay, what is my system? What is my out? Come on. What is my system? What is my?
My system is a class.
Yeah,
My
I
out
already
is
told
a
you. Okay, if it is like a dot, the prefix before dot statement, it may be a class, it may be an object. Okay, by seeing this one, what you can understand in Java, it is a class or object. Starts with capital letter means it's like a class, right? So here, can I write a class first? Yes or no?
sir.
My system is like a class. Done. The next one, okay, with class name, you are accessing one member. You are accessing one member. Okay, with class name you are accessing means that member is what? That member is what? Static member.
Variable.
Yeah, variable or method.
Static.
That's one. Yeah.
Static
If I leave
variable.
like this, if I put like this, it's method. It's like a static member or not? Yes or no? Okay, how we can create
Yes,
the
sir.
static member? Come on. How we can
Static.
create the static member? Okay, static. Right?
Static.
Static my out. Now, if it is like this, if it is like this up to here, okay, we need to do some changes. I'm going to write something like this. Okay, now see, this is one dot, right? Before the dot, what I said, it may be a class, it may be, come on, object. It may be a class or it may be an object. Here, it starts with a capital letter. That's the reason you said what? You said like what? It's like a class. So class dot some member, so that it's like a static member. So I added like a static member. Now, if you see this dot, okay, now before the dot is this one, this statement or not? Yes or no? So my out should be what? My out, this dot before. My out is what? Come on. Any
It's
dot.
a object. Object.
Object.
Object, right? Why object you said? How you said?
Small letter.
Like
Started
object,
with
right?
small
Like
letter.
started with lowercase, right? Okay. Most of the times it's like an object or not. If it is an object, okay, object means it is an object of one class, right? It should be an object of one class or not? Yes or no? It should be an object of
Yes,
one
sir.
class. Yes or no? Tell me. Now,
Yes,
this
sir.
my out value is what? What is the value of my out? Think and tell. My
Class, sir.
out
It's a
value.
class.
It is a
Class.
no. My out is not a class. Just now you said right. My out is what you said?
It's an object. Object,
Object,
sir.
right? So my out value is what? Object, right? Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. I'm telling the type of value.
My out type is like that particular class object.
Yeah.
My out is like object. Okay, so my out is a object of one class, right? So if I add like a 10, my out is an object of one class, my out is like integer.
My out is an integer.
Integer. But here my out is expecting like not integer or something. My out is expecting like what, one class object or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now, can you come here? Can you come here? Okay. In Java, you are going to write only one class. You can write any number of classes.
Any number of classes, sir.
You can write it. Can I write one more class? What's wrong with this one? Okay. Can I write one more class? Okay. My class name can be anything based on your requirement. You can write any number of classes or not. See, we not started programming. Okay. Just okay. Top level. First hello world program, if you want to understand these all things, you should have to understand. Now here I have one more class is there. Yes or no? Here I have one more class is there. Okay now? Okay, I'm going to write some statement. That one you can tell. You said like my out value is what? By seeing this statement, my out, what is the value?
Object, sir.
My no, in this case, what
In
is
the
that? Integer. Integer.
integer.
Okay. If I put something like this, it's like a string or something. But as per this statement, my out should be what? As per this statement, before dot, this one can be a class, can be an object. So my out should be what?
Object, sir.
Object.
Object.
So it is an object of one class. So can I create, okay, an object for my print string? Now tell me.
Yes, sir. Yes,
My
sir.
out is an object of which class? My print
My
class or not? Yes or no? Now tell me, this statement is valid or invalid? What is missing?
I think we missed the type.
Type, right? We
Yeah.
missed the type, right? So what is the type of my out?
Class. My
Okay,
print stream.
it's a class object. That the reason it's like a class type. You can say yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now see, my system, okay, is like what? One class. Okay, inside the class, my out is what?
An object.
Is like a static member. Is an object of which class? My print stream class or not? So up to here, this is an object of which class? This is an object of which
My
class?
print.
My
My
print
print
stream. So with that object, you are accessing what? My println. If you are accessing my println with my print stream class, means this particular method should inside which class?
My print stream.
My print stream or not? So this is my print stream, which is which kind of method? You are accessing through object or using class?
Object.
Using an object, so that it's like non-static member or not. Yes or no? Okay, now the full-fledged. My system is a class. Inside the class, my out is a static variable whose type is like what? An object of which class? Whose type is an object of which class?
My print stream.
My print stream. Okay, in the my print stream, my println is the method or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Now, can
Non-static
I
method.
remove all mice? Okay, can I remove all mice. Okay, now tell me. System is a, come on. System is a,
Class.
system is a class. Inside the system class, come on. Inside the system class, what? Inside the system class,
Out is a member.
out is a variable, static variable. Inside the system class, out is a static variable whose type is what? An
Object.
object. Okay, out is a static variable whose type is an object of which class?
Print
Of which
stream.
class? Of which
Print
class?
stream.
Of a print stream class. Inside the print stream class, my println is what? One method or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Got my point? If anybody asks about system.out.println, you have to explain this one. Okay, system is a class. Inside the class, out is a static variable whose type is like an object of print stream class. Inside the print stream class, we have the method println. That method we called or not. Okay, na? That method we called or not. Okay, now if you write something like this, what change is required?
Return type is string, sir. The println method.
The type is like,
No, I think.
it is
An
not
argument
written
will.
anything, but
Yeah,
it's
we
take
have to
one
pass an
parameter or
argument.
not. It's take one
Yeah.
argument or not. So that my println take one argument. What is the type of that argument? Okay, that
String, sir.
argument, you at this moment string. Okay, any value you can put it. It is going to hold any kind of value. How to hold it any kind of value we'll see later. For now, okay, it's like a string. For example, you can take like a string. Okay, this particular one. Okay, he written some code or not. These all, okay, system class, okay, print stream class, these all who written, already written by Java people. Already written by Java people. These are like a predefined classes. Okay, so system.out.println. System.out.println. Okay, if you see anywhere, frequently you are going to see that one. My Java hello world program. If you see this, the first program, see, now you are able to understand each and everything or not. See, class test. You know this one, right? How to create the class. Yes or no? The next one is what? Public, static. Okay, you know each and every keyword I'm asking. Okay, public, you know what is this one? Access modifier. Okay, next static. You know that one. Without creating an object, we can access the members if it is like a static. Void means it is not written anything. Main, okay, method name, and it takes some arguments. Okay, it's like a, okay, string array of arguments it's taken. The next one is like what? In this one, system.out.println and some statement. Okay, these each and every keyword you know or not in this program. Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you can write your hello world program. Okay, I want to write one program and I want to execute that particular program and get the output is like what? Hello world. Okay. Okay, let's go then. The next one is like write my first hello world program in Java. Write hello world, okay, program in Java. Come on. If you want to write any program in any programming language, first of all, okay, some environment, basic environment is required, right? Okay, you can write anywhere, but if you want to run it, some environment, specific environment is required or not. That is like vary from, okay, one language to another language. Okay, one language to another language. So here, first, if you want to write one Java program, first of all, you can create one file and save that file with the extension of Java. So first you can write like, okay, hello.java. Here, the name of the file also matters here. In future, we'll see. in future, where exactly you have to use this name only, okay, you should not use like this, okay, that kind of discussion in future we can do it. For now, just you can write test.java like this, test.java. As I said, my Java is like a programming language or markup language.
It's a programming
It's
language.
like a programming language, right? If it is like a programming language, okay, the execution process is what? Any programming language you can take it. The execution process is what? First, you have to write some source code, yes or no?
Source code.
You have to write some source code. After that,
Compile.
you have to compile the code or not. Once you compile, okay, you can get the compiled version. Once you get that compiled code, you have to run, and then you can see the output or not. But if it is like a markup language, what we missed here, the compilation step is like missed. Directly you can run your source code or not. Yes or no? So what is this compilation? What is this compilation? What exactly it is going to check in your source code? Very simple. You write some code which is related to one technology. The compiler is going to check whether you follow the proper guidelines and rules what they introduced. Okay, that means what they specified. Java people, what they specified to write your Java program, you followed those guidelines or not. Okay, that one he is going to check. And from the source code, okay, the compiled version of your program he is going to give. Once you get that compiled version of your program, and you have to run it, you have to run it. Okay, this is the process for what? For my programming languages or not? Yes or no? For my programming languages. Now I want to write one simple hello world program in Java. Now tell me how we can write it. First, in Java, any program you can write. Okay, how much big code it is, like 1,000 lines, 2,000 lines of code also, it is going to keep inside where? That code and everything inside the class. Got my point? Okay, it's like object-oriented programming language. Okay, in Java 8, there has some other, okay, functional programming also they're introduced. Okay, we'll discuss that one. For now, just go with that. Come on. First, what you have to do? How we can create a class in Java? Class test. Done. Class test. Okay, na? See, very important. Now, one words. Now, you written this particular source code, right? This particular code, right? Now, what you have to do this code? This code, what you have to do? You written source code. You not write anything. You written this code. Okay, source code is done. What is the next step? What is the next step?
Compile.
You have to compile, right? If you want to compile, which language code you are going to compile? Java, right? Java, right? So that, okay, if you want to compile a Java language source code, okay, the specific environment you have to set up or not. For that purpose, what you have to do first in your mission, Java enabled or not, you have to check it. Enabled or not. Already Java, how to enable, I already discussed it, right? We already discussed in the session. If it is not enabled, just you can install the software. Okay, which software is recommended one here in the development mode? These four, if you want to handle, which software is required? JDK. Only these two you want to handle, JRE is enough. Okay, so in this case, in the development mode, if it is not enabled, just install the JDK. Whenever you install the JDK and set the path, my Java is enabled in your mission, my Java futures you can use it. So one of the command is there to compile your Java source code. What is the command? You know that the command is javac is the command. So open the command prompt. In the command prompt, just you can write javac, stands for Java compiler. Which code you want me to compile? Which source code you want me to compile? Which source code you want me to compile? This test.java. Okay, this source code I want to compile it or not. So you can write like test.java. Got the point? Javac test.java. It's similar to TypeScript, you know, right? TypeScript compiler. Okay, test.java. Okay. Now, once it is like compiled, now what happened? Without compilation errors, if the code is like no compilation errors, nothing. then that time it is going to give you the compiled version of your source code. It's going to give you what? The compiled version of your source code. Okay, how the compiled version of source code is available to you know? The class name is what? What is the class name? For which class the compiled version is required? For which class the compiled version is required? Test class, right? So that to this particular test class, okay, the compiled version source code, compiled version to your source code is enabled you like with the extension of dot class. Wherever you see dot class means you can understand like this is the compiled version of compiled code of your test class, like that you can understand. Okay, for every class one compiled version, okay, is going to generate. So if you see this code somewhere like this, what you can understand, it is like a compiled code for which class? It is a compiled code for which class? It is a compiled code for which class? Test class or not?
Test class.
For test class or not? Understood? Okay, when this file is going to generate, whenever there has
Whenever
no
we run the
compile
command
time
JavaScript.
errors, there is no compile time errors, then only you can see this particular file. Once you have the compiled code, it's like a byte code. It is not understandable by the human beings. It's like a machine readable format. It is not like human readable. Okay, it's like a byte code 0101s like that. You can see if you open this one, that kind of format, you can see the code and everything. So once you have the compiled code, okay, once you have the compiled version of your class, the next one is what? The next one is what? Come on, what is the next one?
We need to run the
You have to run the program or not. Okay, you have to run what? Your source code or compiled code? Which one you
Compiled.
have to run? Compiled code, right? So how we can run, you know, there has one more command. Java is the command. Only Java is the command. Which one you want me to run? I want to run
Yes,
a class file. If you mention .java, that is like a source file. If you not mention anything, by default, that is like a dot class. No need to mention dot class. If you run this one, then that time, okay, based on your source code, okay, you can see the output. Understood? Got my point?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
the compiled code, Java C, the compiler, okay, Java C is the compiler, it is going to compile it. Who is going to run? Okay, some person is required, right? He had to understand that particular byte code, and based on that user, what he written, based on that one, he has to generate the output and show or not. For that purpose, in Java environment, one person is going to take care of all these things. Who is that guy? You know, JVM. It is also program only to run your compiled code and generate the output. JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. So compilation up to here, no problem. Okay, here, okay, who is going to run your program? JVM is going to run your program. JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. If you are Python, you can take it. Okay, there Python Virtual Machine is there, right? That is also one program. Same like this here also, JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Understood? Now, very important. If you write only this code, will it work or not work? No,
It won't work.
it won't work. Okay, you only said, right? How many classes you can write? Any number of classes you can write it or not? Yes or no? So, for example, 10 classes are there. Okay, from where I have to run 10 classes? If you compiled, how many dot class files generated? For
10.
every class, one dot class. 10 dot class files generated. That means 10. Among 10, no, from where I have to start? There has 10 or there. From where I have to start? That is an important, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, from where I have to start? This is the first one. From here I can start, remaining 9 I can complete. If you don't know from where I have to start, there has a conflict, right? There has, okay, ambiguity problem. Okay, I don't know. It's a confusion or not? Yes or no? So, who is going to run your program? Who is going to run your dot class files? Come on, who is going to run your dot class files?
Java.
Java virtual
JVM.
machine.
JVM,
JVM.
right? JVM. Okay, Java test is the command, but who is going to take that responsibility? JVM,
JVM.
right? Java Virtual Machine. Okay, in your hand, how many dot class files are there?
10.
10. Among those 10, my JVM find one dot class file. From there, it has to start the execution or not. Yes or no?
Yes.
So how my JVM can find that particular class? Okay, is there any proper structure it is looking for? It is looking for the proper structure in that particular class. If this kind of structure is there, so my JVM find that particular class and it's going to start the execution. That kind of structure is there means yes. Okay, so my JVM always looking for what you know. Okay, we have the first program here. If you see what is that one? See that? Public, see this, public static void main string args. Public static void main string args. So my JVM always looking for the class, okay, which contains which method? Which
Main
contains
method.
main method or not? Who has the main method? Which class has the main method? Then that time it is going to start that particular class as like a bootstrap class. It is going to start the execution from there itself. Now you can ask 10 classes or there 10 classes has the main method. Then that time again ambiguity problem. Okay, only one class you have to run, right? You are running like what? Test class. In the test class, it is looking for which method? Come on,
Main method.
test class, it is looking for which method? Main method or not? Main method or not? Yes or no? You are, okay, executing specific class only. In that particular class, it is looking for which method? Come on, it is looking for which method? Okay, now this
Main.
10 classes concept, leave it. Okay, here, in this case, you are executing which method? Test, right? Okay, so in the test, my JVM is looking for which method? Main method.
Main method.
Main method or not? Okay, now if it is like a main method, what is this public? What is this static? What is this void? Okay, why these all? Okay, if you write something like this, then the time it is not executing that one. Why only specific like public static void main only with string array? Why the JVM is looking for exactly that method only? That is the question or not? Yes or no? If you write something
Yes.
like this, okay, this is also main method only, right? Main method only, right? But my JVM is not looking for this. My JVM is looking for exactly which kind of method? JVM is
Public
looking for
static.
public static void main. Why? My JVM is looking for this one only. That is the question. Why means very simple. See, you ask to JVM to run which class by seeing this one. You ask
Test.
JVM run which class? Test. Okay, so that, okay, who is going to take the responsibility of run the dot class file? JVM. Yes or no?
JVM.
So my JVM get the class name is like what? Test. Yes or no?
Test.
From where?
Yeah.
From this particular command. Now my JVM also one program only. Okay, everything is like one program only. My JVM, okay, looking for which class? Come on.
Test
If you
class.
run this command, my JVM is looking for which class? Test. Test. Okay, that is like source code compiled file.
Compiled file.
Compiled file. That means it is looking for test.class file or not. First, it is going to check that test.class is available or not available. Okay, now it is available, right? Just think only positive scenarios. Available. If it is available, now inside this one, my JVM is looking for which method to start the execution?
Main method.
Main method. Okay, main method is like normal main method. It is like should be public, should be static.
It should be public static void.
Okay, why? That is the question. That is the question. Why? Because, okay, don't think more. Why? Because, see, my JVM outside the test class or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
My test is one program. My JVM is like one program. Yes, no. JVM inbuilt program, they written. That is also program only. My test is one program. My JVM is one program or not? Yes or no? Come on. Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. Okay. Now, if the method is like other than public, is that method accessed from anywhere? I mean, outside the test program? Is it possible?
No.
No, right?
No.
No, right? So, if my JVM is like out of my class, still it is accessing, still it want like what? Access the main method. If you want to access the main method outside that particular class, that main method should be what?
Public.
Public or not. Understood or not? If it is a public, you can access the member from anywhere or not. That is the first point. Understood? Yes or no? Okay, na?
Yes.
Okay, then. Now, next. Now, my JVM has the class name, right? Has the class name, right? If you have the class name, two things you can do. You can create an object and call the member. Yes, no? And with the class name itself, you can call the member. Which one is easy for us? Tell me.
With the class itself, we can able to call the function
Yes, yes,
methods.
no. When you can call?
If it is static method.
Static, right? So that my JVM don't want to take the responsibility. Okay, now one class, 100 classes are there. My JVM don't want to take the responsibility of creating an object and allocate the memory, destroy that memory. That kind of extra burden they don't want to handle. That's the reason, hey, I don't want to call the method by using an object. I want to call the main method using class name itself, so that you have to make that method is like what? Is static or not? Yes or no? Come on.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, then. The next one. Okay, public means my JVM, okay, access, okay, that particular main method outside the program. That's the reason it should be public. Static means my JVM don't want to create an object with the class name itself, it want to call it. That's the reason it should be static. What is the main? Why wide?
Because it's not returning anything.
Reason, tell me. For example, you are the JVM. Okay, I given this class to you. Okay, class to you. You call the main method. Yes or no? You are the JVM, you are calling the main method. Okay, who is calling? That guy only get the written value, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, if I return some value, what you can do with that value? JVM, what he can do? JVM run the program. Okay, he is not expecting anything, right, from you. Yes or no? If you return some value also, what I can do as a JVM, your value, what I can do? Okay, I can't do anything. Why? Because from your side, I don't want anything. Just my responsibility is I want to run your program. That's it. Okay, I am not expecting anything. If it is not expecting anything, the method should return what? Come on, the method should return what? Void, right? Understood? Public static void. Okay, in the JVM program, okay, they written like this. Now tell me, the method should be what? Method name should be what? Method name should be what? What is the method name?
Main.
Main, right? Main, right? Okay, he is calling main. Oh, if you put like something else, okay, then that time is that method is available.
No.
Okay, so JVM program already written, already main method he called. Then that time he already written the program means you have to follow their guidelines or not. If you change this one, M1, if you want to make it work, who has to change? Which one you have to make the change? In the JVM program, you have to change like this or not. Yes or no? But I don't want to touch that one. Then the time simply instead of changing the JVM, can you follow their guidelines only? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, now okay then. Now this one is very, very important again. This one is very, very important. See, okay, some questions I'm going to ask. See, when I can pass the data to the method, general. In general, when I can
While
pass
calling
the
that method.
while calling, perfect. While calling. Okay, this is the main method, right? Main method, right? Okay, if I call, how I can pass the data? If I call, how we can pass the data? Like this, I can pass the data or not? If I call, I can pass the data like this or not? But do you have any chance to call this main method as a programmer? I'm asking.
No.
No, right?
No,
Who is calling?
JVM.
JVM, right? JVM is calling or not? That means you are not the person call the main method. JVM is calling. Okay, na? Agreed? Huh? Okay, but still I have the requirement here. Okay, I want to pass some data to the main method. My requirement is there. My requirement is what? I want to pass the data to the main method, but I am not the person to call it. So what you have to do? Come on, possibilities. Just think. Don't think more. You are not the person to call the main method. Agreed, everyone? Yes.
Yes.
You are not the person to call the main method. Who is calling? JVM.
JVM.
Any programming language you can take it. While calling only, we can pass the data or not. Okay, so who is calling? My JVM. So if you want to pass the data to the main method, who can give the data to the main method? Who can? Who can give the data to the main method? Only one person. JVM only can give the data to the main method or not? Yes, no. Come on, yes, no. Only JVM only can pass the data to the main method or not. But which values are there with you? Which values are there with you? Tell me. 10, no? 20. These values to whom you want me to pass? Come on. To whom
main
you
method.
want main method. Okay, are you calling the main method?
No.
No. Who is calling the main method?
JVM.
JVM. Okay. JVM is calling the main method, so he has to pass the data to the main method. But these values are with me. So first thing is like, can you give these values to JVM? Can you ask to my JVM, can you pass to the data to the main method? That is only the way or not? Yes, no. Come on. Yes or no? So how we can give this data to the main method, you know? Tell me, how we can give the data to the JVM first? When my JVM is coming to the picture, while executing while running your program or not? Yes or no? While running your program or not? So while running your test class, can you pass the data like this? Come on.
yes, sir.
Possibility there. It's like a command line arguments will tell later. Okay, now my JVM, whenever you run the program, my JVM come into the picture. Okay, so my JVM, okay, only class name is there. Okay, after class name, you pass some data with space separation, it think like, okay, that person want to pass the data to the main method, so he passed the data. That the reason my JVM take the test as well as take the values also, if it is there. Now those values he pass to which method? Come on, those values he passed to which method? JVM pass to which method? Main method or not? Main method or not? But if you pass like a 10, 20 string or something, it is not a matter. My JVM, all these values treated like a string, converted like a string. The JVM pass the data in like a string format only, not only, okay, one, it is like a 0, 1, 2, 10 like this. I don't know how many values, okay, user can pass to JVM, JVM can pass to main. I don't know the count. That the reason the values type is like a string. I don't know the count. That the reason my main is going to take one argument as like a array or not. Array of what? Array of strings or not. Understood? Everyone? This line is okay or not? Why public static void main?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay, so now you can tell. You can write the class done. Okay, you compile it. Okay, it's going to check for compile time errors. There is no compile time errors, nothing. Perfect. Now the next step is what? I want to run the program. How we can run the program? Which command? Java. Come on, the command name is what? Java. The class dot class file name is what? Test. That's it. Whenever you run, who is coming to the picture? Who is coming to the picture? JVM. JVM is looking for which class? Which dot class file? Test. If it is there, now the next step is what? It is call which method? Main method or not. So why the main method only public static void main string args? Now you know, right? Why public means my JVM is going to access the main method outside my test program or not. So one method can call from anywhere. How we can make the method? Can call from anywhere. The method modifier is like a public. My JVM don't want to create an object and call the method. My JVM want to call that particular method with the class name itself. That's the reason it should be static. My JVM is not expecting any value from the main method while calling. That's the reason it should be void. My JVM call the method whose name is main only. That's the reason you should have to make the method name is like main. Okay, my JVM sometimes based on your values, your supplying values, he is going to pass the data to the main method in the string format 0 to any. That's the reason if he pass, okay, the values you can get it. If you not pass, the values are like empty array. So it's like string of args or not. Yes or no? That's the reason you should have to follow this particular one or not. Public static void main. Agreed? All are okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, after that, okay, in this particular one, okay, here, hello world, I want to print it. Okay, so I already discussed the system.out.println. Okay, tell me, what is system? Come on,
The class
already we
name.
discussed, na? What is system? My system is a class. My system is a class. Inside it frequently asked question. Hey, can you explain system.out.println? Hey, can you explain why public static void main only? Can I add something more? Okay, something else. Then the time, what is the reason? What is the reason? You have to explain this one. Why, what is this system.out.println? Can you explain me this? Yes. What is this system? First, system is a
Class.
class. Inside the system class, what is my out?
Out is an object.
Out is a first you can tell like out is a
Out
static
is
variable. Out is a
yeah.
static variable. Why? Because I'm calling by using class name, right? So out is a static variable whose type is what? Whose type is
Object.
what? Object of which class? Print
System.
stream
String
class.
class.
Print stream. Okay. It is an object of which class? See this. See this. It is an object of which class? Print stream class or not? Yes or no?
Yeah.
In the print stream class, println is which one? Println is what? One method or not? See, simple.
Non-static
You can,
method.
in Java program, wherever you see the dot, okay, wherever you see the dot, you can think like this. Before this dot, it can be what? Possibilities. It can be a class or it can be an object or not. If it is like a class, this after the dot, this is which member? It is a static member or not. So when you can say this is like a class or not, when you can say this is like a class or something else, if it is like a capital, so that here my system is what? A class. Done. Inside the system class, my out is what? Come on, my out is what? Out is a
Static variable.
static variable. Yeah, perfect. Static variable or not. Static out. We can add something. Okay. Now this dot is done. Huh? Can you come to this dot now? Can you come to this dot? Okay, tell me. This dot before what you have?
Out.
Object.
Out, right? Okay. Dot before, as I said, it may be an object. It may be
Class.
Class.
class. Okay. Now tell me. OUT. It's like what? Object a class? It starts with capital A. No,
Object.
right? It is like what? It is like a object. So out is a object. Yes, out is a object. It is an object means it is an object of one class, right? Yes or no? It is an
Yes.
object of one class, right? Whose class object that is?
Print stream.
Whose class object? That can be any class, but in Java, my out is an object of which class? Print stream class or not? Okay, na? So tell me, okay, my out is an object of print stream class means my out is which type?
Object.
Which class object?
Print stream.
Print stream, done. Okay, now done. Now before the dot, okay. After the dot, what is this one? You are calling one method with an object means that method inside that particular class or not. Okay, so my println is the method inside which class?
Print
Print
stream.
stream
Print
class.
stream. So how we can? Okay, public void my println. Okay, it is a no. Okay, it's a method. It's a static method or normal method? Non-static. Non-static. Why?
Non-static.
Why? Because you are accessing through what? Object, not class. My println take how many parameters? Okay, one parameter. In this case, string only you can take it. Yes, done. Now you can explain system.out println. System is a class. Inside the class, my out is a static variable whose type is an object of which class? Print stream class. Inside the print stream class, my println is one member, one method or not. That's it. Yes or no? Easy?
Yes.
Okay, this is the way it is going to work. See, first program only, you have to understand the basics. Remaining all are like by seeing the code, you can understand. That is not a big deal. The basics, if you are able to understand, okay, next level, you only can analyze. Okay, that's the reason you have to spend some more time in the core Java. Okay. Okay, then we'll continue remaining things in the next session. Thank you guys. Okay, tomorrow,
Are you going to
write
upload
your
now?
programs. Second?
Are you going to upload now?
Yeah, I'm going to upload.
Yeah, thank you.